Follow along with me as I bake, cook, and clean until my boyfriend agrees to let me be a trad house husband. Today I'm gonna make a lasagna. It's vegetarian. I actually prefer over ones with meat. It's called flag lasagna. Flag lasagna because it's the colors of the Italian flag: red tomato sauce, white noodles and cheese, and of course green is a pesto. Homemade pesto is way better than store-bought pesto, but of course if you don't have the time, store-bought pesto is great. The way I cut down on the time is to buy no boil noodles that you put dry directly into the lasagna, and they kind of come to life as they bake. The first thing we're going to do, because I'm going to use the food processor about 3 times, is I'm going to grate 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. That's for the pesto. A cup or even more, depending on how much you like, of mozzarella cheese. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and begin to make the pesto. Here I have the grated 1 pound, not 1 cup, of mozzarella cheese and about a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now you can change this recipe as much or as little as you want. I just shredded what I had left on the block. Now we can use the food processor to make the pesto. It's really simple. You just take 4 garlic cloves and 1/2 cup of pine nuts in your food processor until really well blended. Then you're gonna add about 3 cups of fresh basil. Clearly this is way more than 4 cloves of garlic. Cooking is about following what you want to do. I'm gonna put 1/2 cup of pine nuts. Got these from Costco. Love Costco. Pine nuts are actually pretty expensive, so if you can get them at Costco or some bulk place, do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend these 2 first, and I'm going to then put the washed spinach in and blend that really well. I removed all of the stems from the spinach. That's really important. If you don't, it's going to be super bitter. So you just want the leaves. This is what you want your pine nuts and your garlic to look like. Now I'm going to add about 3 cups of fresh basil leaves and salt and pepper to taste. This is what it should look like, this paste. I scraped it down with a rubber spatula a couple times to make sure it all got well incorporated. So I'm gonna put it back on the food processor and open this part while it's going and pour in slowly 2/3 a cup of extra virgin olive oil. That will help get it all well incorporated. After that, I'm going to add in all of the Parmesan cheese that I grated. I like cheese. And I'm just gonna slowly pulse it a couple times to make sure that the Parmesan cheese gets well incorporated. Here's the finished pesto with the Parmesan cheese. Now I'm gonna put this off to the side because what I'm going to do is mix this with 2 different kinds of tofu. Now the tofu is kind of gonna act like ricotta cheese and fill the place of meat. So one of the tofus is firm. This is a 16-ounce pack. You wanna take it out of the liquid and then pat it down dry, and then you're going to crumble it into a large bowl. You're going to do the same thing with this silken tofu or soft tofu. This one's 16 ounces. Once you've kind of crumbled the tofus both up with your hands, I usually use my hands, you'll go ahead and add the pesto into it. So this is going to make kind of the hearty layer of your lasagna. This is the firm tofu and the soft silken tofu plus all of the pesto mixture. So I'm going to put this aside so I can use it in a layer for the lasagna. The next thing I'm going to do, because I'm a Costco slut and I buy everything in bulk, and I also did not have pasta sauce, I have this can of diced tomatoes and this can of tomato sauce, each 14.5 and 15 ounces. I'm going to blend them in a blender with garlic salt, some crushed red pepper, some homemade Italian seasoning that I made when I was going through a drying herbs phase, and some onion powder, salt, and pepper. Here's the pasta sauce, the tomato sauce I made. I was gonna put it in a blender, but then I realized I already made this dirty. It's all going in our mouths anyways, so mind your business. I have all of the ingredients here. It's a pound of no boil pasta noodles. Have different kinds because I had one left over from when I made this last and I needed more. The tomato sauce, the pesto, tofu mixture, a 9x13 baking dish. I have this thick one because I like to do more layers, and of course your mozzarella cheese. You're going to start by adding a layer of red sauce on the bottom of this, and then you're going to put noodles on it first, and this is going to be the base. Now what I'm going to do is put 1/3 of the tofu mixture. I will sprinkle a layer of mozzarella cheese. Then you're gonna put noodles, sauce, tofu, pesto mixture, cheese again, noodles, sauce, tofu mixture, cheese again. Noodles, sauce, mozzarella cheese is the last layer. I'm going to cook this in a 350-degree oven covered with foil for an hour, then remove the foil and cook for another half an hour. Now you want to let it sit for at least 10 minutes, but I find that really 10 to 30 minutes is the best window of time frame to let everything kind of get down from being boiling hot and burning your tongue, and so that you can cut into it and it's not too much of a hassle. Here's the finished product. Green, red, and white. We're gonna go ahead and give it a taste test.
That's good.
Okay.
It has tofu in it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm allergic.
Oh no, on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm not a tofu person, but that's a 10.
Oh, I didn't pay him to say that. On a scale of 1 to 10, trad house husband material.
5.
Well, better luck next time. Send me your submissions of what you think I should cook or bake next. Like, follow, subscribe, share for more. Bye.
Bye.